All right, I think we are live. Hello, everybody. We have Sam from Life After Life Productions with us this evening. Hello,
Hello.
Sam.
Hi.
And we have Brett from Wolf Paranormal with us as well. Hello, Brett.
Morning.
I'll grab your links in a second because that's the one thing I've forgotten to do. I hope everybody's been well. Before we start, I want to pay my respects and send my thoughts and prayers out to the family of Our Majesty Queen Elizabeth II on her passing. So get that out of the way straight away.
Yeah. It was nice, Prince Charles's speech yesterday.
I thought it was lovely.
Yeah, he's now officially declared William, Prince of Wales, and Kate, Princess of Wales.
I thought that made my heart swell when I heard that. Yeah,
it was interesting how short the reference to the other sibling was. I thought that was very telling as well.
I thought it was very tastefully done.
Yeah.
But yeah, long live the King. King Charles III. So,
and his Queen Consort Camilla.
Yeah.
It's weird now having a king and queen.
It is. I've been kind of rattling it around in my head the last 2 days, and I kind of suspected this year was going to be the year, but when it happens, it's so different going from a king to a queen, I suppose, because all of our lives as well, we've had a queen.
Mm-hmm.
We've known nothing else.
It's going to be strange seeing Charles' head on the money.
Well, they're going to have to stick ears on the pound coin now to fit his portrait on.
Oh, Brett. Hello to Mark and Annette. We have Jazz, Carol. Hello, darling. Sky, Ghostly Whispers. Hello, Little Jazz. Oh, I think I already said you. Sorry, darling.
That was very showbiz. Sorry, darling.
It's just not right. We're on the telly now. Bit of a controversial topic this evening. Now, if anyone hasn't gone over to Sam's channel, let me go over and grab the links for those now. Sam has actually uploaded a little short, and you don't mind me talking about this, do you, Sam?
No, fire away.
Okay. So Sam has just uploaded a very short video talking about how, with the passing of Queen Elizabeth, there has been a video uploaded already on YouTube, someone in the paranormal, and they have uploaded a spirit box session, which is quite quick. I mean, it's only been, 48 hours, 2 days?
Yeah.
Since her passing?
It was the following day at 11 a.m. I think this person put up the spirit box session, actually.
Well, that's even a lot sooner.
Yeah, but
has somebody done a spirit box session with the Queen already?
Huff.
Yeah.
Oh, what a surprise!
It's usually Charlie Chitnam who is he got into the he got into the community, the Indian community, and the Indian community support him and that, and he is up at 97,000 subscribers. And people go to him, do a spirit box session on this celebrity and a lot of the Indian ones and that. And they're only 3-minute videos where he goes up to his attic, said, "Oh, my name is Charlie Chitnam. Today we're going to do a spirit box session," blah blah blah. And it's the same script it's saying every single video, and it's a PSP7 with a 3-minute. And he has all the questions scripted. He actually doesn't know anything about ITC. But the thing, the problem here is, you got this moral aspect. Charlie is known to be a hearse chaser, basically,
Yeah.
and there is part of the community that absolutely hates this. There's another part of the community that think this is normal,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where the problem is. You know, if there's people,
Yeah,
pe-
the problem is, Sam, is that part of the community ain't normal. That's where the problem is.
oh, there is a lot of toxicity in the community, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that follow regardless, and we're on an entertaining platform, and a lot of people do on the edge stuff to get attention, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
sometimes that sometimes involves breaking down moral barriers, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
They would cast aside their moral values if they had them, just to get clout.
Hmm. And what you've got to remember as well, she is the most famous monarch of modern times.
Yeah.
She's the longest serving UK monarch, and she's also the world's longest serving female monarch. So what you've got to bear in mind in terms of spirit boxes and stuff like that at the moment, her name is going to be plastered on every single media outlet in the world, and is going to be for days.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, this. I'm not a royalist. I'm Irish, and I can't say an awful lot online because there is tensions at
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
moment.
yeah, yeah.
There already has been an incident outside my house this morning. There's two sides basically,
Hmm.
so I can't say anything. But in general, when you look deep into it, these people don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Now, take the royal family for a change. I see them as a family, as people.
Hmm.
Yes.
You know, Forget about the crown and all of that. They're people. They're
Mm-hmm.
people that are hurting, and they see these things online, and that goes for any celebrity. They're people as well.
Yep.
You've seen people like Britney Spears that had mental breakdowns and stuff like that. They have their trials and tribulations just like we have, you know,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and
And,
that's
and
what
look,
we have.
yeah.
That's what we have to look at. But these people, they want attention. They want a trending topic. Morals sometimes just goes out the window. They just uh, this will get me attention on YouTube, and it's
Exactly.
yeah.
There's got to be, like, we're not saying that there's anything wrong with doing spirit box sessions about Her Majesty, or about um, bloody Robin Williams, or any other person out there, whether it's your mother or father or whatever. There has to be something that's put into the paranormal that says, under moral obligation, this is a window where you can't touch this subject for a certain period of time. You're not allowed to delve into this. You're not allowed to upload spirit box sessions who you claim is this person or anything else. There has to be a window of mourning. There
The
has
problem
to.
the problem is with that, though, Julie, is that that's a very, very what's the word? Optimistic outlook is probably the best way of putting it.
Yeah, it's not going to
Because
happen. But
what you've got to take into consideration is a lot of these channels are only successful because they have no morals, and they are prepared to step the boundaries that a lot of people wouldn't. And if they don't do this kind of thing, their channels wouldn't get the viewerships they get. That you're never going to get morals in the paranormal community, because there are too many people, and particularly on social media platforms who are there for the social media aspect of it and not the paranormal aspect of it. That is
Yeah.
their priority, and that is why it'll never be stamped out. And this is why you'll get the big ambulance chasers like Off Paranormal who continue to do it.
You have these people that have these views, the similar views to us, well, sort of, and they say, well, we want to clean up the paranormal, so we're kind of going to be kind of a paranormal police force, if for
Yeah.
want of a better word. And those people actually turn out just as bad as the people that we're talking about today.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? And do you know, at the end of the day, who has a right to police the genre, if you know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
some people have tried to do this and ended up bullying other people, and they ended up just as bad as the people that
Yeah.
they're fighting against.
The thing is, you've got to respect the rights of free speech, whether you like what somebody's saying or doing or not. You know, you've got to accept the fact that free speech is a part of democracy. So
Yeah,
we're always going to have it. You know, but on the flip side of that, yes, there's free speech, but that doesn't mean there aren't consequences for that free speech.
yeah,
Yeah, that's very true. Someone in, I think it was Sky, said when I was talking about having a window of mourning, she kind of said 2 weeks, question mark. I think that for me, if it was me, I would say, think about if it was one of your close family members that passed away. How long would you expect people to wait until they touch that as a subject? You've got to kind of put yourself in their shoes as
Mm-hmm.
well. I mean, it's a
So
really touchy thing.
it also depends on the context as well, because if people are just
Mm,
covering a death, fair enough. If people are claiming to be speaking to her from beyond the grave the day
mm,
after she's died, that is when things start to become a little bit distasteful. And
mm.
let's be honest, with the likes of people like Uff and that one that Sam mentioned, we're talking about the Queen of England here. The last thing she's wanted, and any celebrity, the last thing they're going to want to be doing is talking to some 2-bit paranormal streamer on YouTube. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
do you know,
Mhm.
I'm in the genre of ITC, and you know, my judgment is a little bit clouded because I think calling out to Pacific people is a bit nonsense anyway.
Yeah.
And talking to celebrities. Now, you had way back years ago a guy called Marcello Bachi who used to go to a town hall, and the locals used to gather in the town hall, and he had a gift using just an old radio, an old military radio, of contacting these people's loved ones, and
Mm-hmm.
some of those voices went through FBI voice recognition software. He had some sort of gift, but then everybody jumped on that bandwagon thinking they have the gift. People like Huff, I don't think has that gift. Do you know?
Mm. Yep.
But it's the sense of being known for that. Now, Marcello Bacci, a lot of people never heard of him. He was a quiet, humble man. These other people are not humble. When you talk about Mr. Hope, he is not humble at all. And even this latest controversy with his argument with his ex friend over an application, that wasn't about money. That was about attention on him.
Mhm.
And he was willing to sort of sacrifice a good friendship for 8 years, all because of he wasn't getting the attention it was his equipment, it was his invention, which is not an invention. It's a guitar players put these setups together, on stage and stuff. It can be plugged in a couple of minutes and that. But his sense of entitlement, and in this particular case, he feels entitled that he is one of these high up people in ITC, and because he's got a faith in God and he throws the God card out a lot, he thinks that's a free pass. When you start talking about God and things like that, it still does not make it right, and I think it makes it even more disgusting using God to to go down the route he's doing.
Yeah, but Sam, the fact he's actually using God demonstrates that his so-called belief in God isn't as strong as he makes out, because it specifically states in the Bible that you should not communicate with the dead, and that in fact it's impossible to communicate with the dead. So using God, as some kind of justification for doing what he's doing, just basically says he's not really religious. He's just using religion as a platform.
Yeah, but when you think of the Bible, how many times has it been twisted to a narrative anyway? You know what I mean? You know.
I actually read a couple of books a few years ago before I started on YouTube and things about a couple of paranormal investigators, and there was one who was actually a doctor as well, and he used to do past life regressions, and they touched on the subject of when a loved one passes over and how long it takes before you can communicate with them. And that varies. There are some people who will say, you're not going to reach them until 2 weeks later. You're not going to reach them until a month later. But even still, saying that, as Brett said before, and as Carol just said, I feel that spirit are close to their loved ones in the first stage. Now, say for instance, Robin Williams was my uncle, right? And I was very close to my uncle, and he passed away. And Huff did a spirit box session. Why would my uncle go to Huff to speak
Exactly.
through a spirit box?
Exactly.
He would come to me that night and show himself or slam a door or something to say goodbye. He wouldn't go to some random bloody person to talk to me. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah,
Ems.
yeah. I mean, like
I am.
he got himself into controversy before with the musician a certain musician. I can't remember what his name was,
He's
but
done that. He's done that many. Sam, take your pick.
I can't. My brain's not working.
No.
But he actually said that he saved him from hell.
Is that the one that uh in the one that sang Numb was in that group? Was it Numb?
No, it was kind of country western type of music.
Oh,
Kenny Rogers.
not Willie
No,
Nelson?
uh, Burning Ring of Fire was one of the
Johnny
songs.
Cash. Johnny
Yeah,
Oh,
Cash.
Johnny Cash. Yeah, yeah. He didn't. He never took the. I don't. As far as I know, he never took that video down. But his family members had considered taking legal action. I don't know what happened. Highly unlikely, because a lot of these things get thrown aside. But if it did happen, it would have painted a different picture what we see today. But people are not willing to stand up, and that's the sad part of this. People are just get away with everything, and it's not only that person; it's the family members. You know, you take, for instance, that basketball player. That basketball player that died in a helicopter crash. It
Mm.
wasn't only him, it was his daughter and a number of other people. But the family members are left behind, and then you've got all these people all of a sudden doing these spirit box sessions, and some of these people all of a sudden turn psychic because it's a trend. This person's name
Yeah,
is a trend,
yeah,
and they'll do anything to jump on the bandwagon. And some of the stuff that I had seen in relation to these people all of a sudden overnight turning into psychics, some of the stuff that has come out is absolutely slanderous. When you take the Gabby Petita case, I can't remember. I can't pronounce the second name. You know that case a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that I heard online is absolutely insane. This person was missing. They hadn't been even found. And some of these people pretended to be psychics online. Some of the stuff that they were spilling out was absolutely slanderous. It was, you know, they had no filter, you
Hmm.
know. And
Yeah.
it's going to come to a day where somebody will be made an example of.
Hmm.
But that day has not come, you know.
Give it time. It will
Yeah,
happen, as you
yeah.
said. Yeah, definitely. Sky, the one person I've wanted contact with, has never talked to me. Felt them, but no communication. I've had the same experience as Sky. That's what
yeah.
set me on this journey. Yeah,
I've said this time and time again. You know, I've lost three brothers and sisters,
yeah,
obviously grandparents and other close family members. Never had a single one of my family ever contact me in any way, shape, or form, ever.
yeah,
Yeah, I get messages because I'm into ITC. I get messages about loved ones, and I get messages about famous people and stuff like that. And I keep telling people I don't do what Huff does. All my spirit boxes, I turn on the spirit box, I record, I ask questions, I communicate with what is there. I don't know what is there. It's not scientifically proven what is there,
yeah,
but at times something is communicating back. And I don't even use the word spirits anymore. I just, whatever comes through comes through. You know, I'm not this. I don't. I, it's my personal belief. It might be a lot different for most other people. I just don't believe that you can call out a certain name and they're going to come to you and talk to you. I don't think it works like that.
Totally agree with you, Sam.
yeah,
Do you know?
absolutely. Yeah,
You
You know,
know,
I
a lot of people get into ITC and specifically spirit boxes, and they treat that spirit box like it's a bloody telephone to the dead.
mm,
yeah. Way back when I was at school, my science teacher was a fan of Marcello Bachi. And a lot of people had massive respect for him because not only was there some sort of communication there, people hearing their loved ones' voices, the emotion that you could see on camera of these people, that is my son. That's the sound of my son. That's my son's voice. You had these apports. Apports are objects falling on people's laps, flowers and stuff like that. Now, myself and the science teacher, we went through a lot of Marcello Bacci stuff at the time, and my science teacher was translating a lot of stuff from Italian to English. We could not debunk him.
Hmm.
You know, at the time when it came out on the news, there was a news article done on him. A lot of people were saying this has to be fake, but we couldn't prove it. You know, but this is where Marcello Bacci's name has never been used, but people are running with this narrative that they think that they can attract in whoever they want and speak to them. But in the background, these famous people are trending names, and that's, a lot of the thing. And it's a YouTube problem. But YouTube's not going to fix it, because how do you fix it? Julie, you mentioned about splitting the genres into entertainment and real paranormal. That can't happen, because there's so many people that are putting stuff out as real, even though they are fake, for attention seeking. And attention seeking is the biggest problem of that. Yes, that would be the right thing to do, is have a separate genre for entertainment and reality. But the two genres are mixed together, and I don't think they can separate.
No, and I think the main reason that they won't be able to be separated is because there are too many people out there who put their foot down and say, what I'm doing is real paranormal, and they know it's not, but there's
Yeah.
no way they'll turn around and admit to that and put themselves in an entertainment category.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be famous. Well, not everybody, but a lot of these people, they want to be famous.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Hope wants to be famous. He wants to be remembered as this great ITC guy. I don't think that is actually going to happen, because he's actually dropping off. But in some parts, he will be remembered as a great ITC person.
Mm-hmm. See, this is the fact. This is why YouTube and other social media platforms are the worst way of promoting the paranormal, when all said and done, because they are primarily there for entertainment.
Yeah.
And genuine paranormal investigation is not entertainment. It's investigation. It's in the title. You don't see scientists who are in cutting edge fields sitting on YouTube talking about what they're doing all day. They're in the labs, or they're out doing their experiments and stuff like that. These big channels on YouTube are primarily there for entertainment, and they are just using the paranormal platform as a means to do it. And I honestly believe, and on art, 99% of them don't genuinely believe in the paranormal. It's just a stepping stone for them to get what they perceive as fame.
Because it's popular.
Yeah, and this links back into the morals thing, because the paranormal is such an area where there's nothing can be proven one way or the other. It is rife for people with no morals to jump on the bandwagon and do as they please, because there is absolutely no way on the planet to either prove or disprove what they're claiming definitively.
It's kind of weird that people want to be famous on YouTube and stuff like that. They pick the worst genre to try and be famous.
Yeah.
If you want to be famous, go set up a drama channel and talk about Trisha Paytas and James Charles and Deaf Noodles.
Yes.
That's how you get famous on YouTube. There's a young fella that is from this town. He's got over 200,000 subscribers, and he doesn't do an intro. He sits on the side of his bed, looks at the camera, and starts talking about Trisha Paytas and H3 and Deaf Noodles and, James Charles and all this drama. And you've got this circle of drama they call it YouTube drama, general YouTube drama. And that's big business. The paranormal is not big business when it comes to even drama. They can't even do paranormal drama right, except, shit on other people that they don't like. There's no sort of, they don't take a leaf out of the YouTube drama channel's book and be non-biased and say, well, such and such done this today, and even I don't do it, because when I talk about Huff, I make it quite clear I don't like what he does.
Yeah.
You know, I put my rather than being unbiased. So you don't have in the YouTube atmosphere. A lot of these drama channels kind of police what happens, but in YouTube, in the paranormal, people have tried that, but they're not doing it right. If they had took a leaf out of the ordinary drama channel genre, they'd be sort of more, they would be more successful at it. But then that puts fear into other people joining the paranormal on YouTube. People that are trying to learn, because a lot of these people that are calling out other people, these new people are scared of them in case they put a foot wrong, and everybody puts a foot wrong. Everybody doesn't do it right first time.
Yeah.
You know, and they are under pressure. Well, what happens if I made a mistake? What happens if this channel finds out about it and does a video on me and they're not strong-minded? It will ruin them. They won't come back to it. They'll leave.
Mhm.
You know? And there is actually people out there trying to bully people offline.
Oh
In
yeah,
that kind of way, you know?
oh yeah. You know, but there's certain channels out there you're never going to get to change, and you know that they will cross boundaries that most people would never even consider. A good example over here, a couple of years ago, there's a big channel, not so much on YouTube, they're more of a Facebook channel now, called Ghosts of Britain, and
Yeah.
they claim they had got part of the ashes of Myra Hindley. Now, Myra Hindley is the most notorious female serial killer over here ever. She was responsible for the murder of numerous children with a partner, Ian Brady. Now, they started doing streams, including about these ashes of Myra Hindley, and cooking up all sorts of story. Now, one of the victims of the Moors murderers, Keith Bennett, he has never been found. His body is still somewhere on the moors. Keith Bennett's brother actually contacted Ghosts of Britain and said, please stop. This is really upsetting the family. It's dragging up stuff that doesn't need to be dragged up. And they basically turned around to that bloke and said, F you, and carried on.
Oh
And
my God.
that is the sort of caliber of people we have got in the paranormal community.
Yeah, I think Ghost of Britain were lucky in that case because they had a sacrificial lamb, another guy that's with them,
Yeah.
who was caught up in other controversies, and the heat all went on him, and then the community rallied around and got rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he tried to save his career a number of times, and recently he says he's going to delete that channel, he's going to do completely different content, but he's never going to be the same again.
Yeah.
Because he says, well, I was going to do a reaction video to this, and then they said, no, it's just gone too I'm kind of half cancelled at the moment. People are messaging me saying, you've changed. Stop doing the drama. Just do your own thing because I'm sick of it. And I had a video ready to go out on that, and I can't do it. I sort of can't do it now. But this person that was the sacrificial lamb to Ghost of Britain, um, maybe he is sorry. I don't think he is, but he can't flip and say it. He sort of, oh, I went astray, and yes, I got caught up with these other people. He's shifting the blame to these other people, and he's blaming other people for the downfall of his career. It was him.
Yeah,
And
the problem with these people, Sam, is the only things they're sorry about is one, the fact they didn't achieve their fame and fortune out of it, and two, they didn't make the money off it that they were hoping to, and that is the only thing that people like they were sorry for.
do you know, he might have saved his career and come on video and says, listen, guys, a lot of things has happened over the years, and some of it has been my fault. I'm going to say sorry to such and such a person. I behaved very, very badly, and I am going to try and change. Don't read a script. Say it from the heart. Some people will go for it. Some people will say, "Fuck you." You done it. You shouldn't have done it in the first place. Go to hell in a handbasket. You know, but
I like that.
some people will respect you for saying, "I'm sorry, guys. I fucked up."
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a couple of words. That's all you have to say. But some people are too proud to say it, even though they were well able to say other things online and bring private lives into it. You know, there was all sorts of things. There was a breakup of a relationship that got very hostile, and the names he called his partner and all the rest of it. And the weird thing about it is, some people were on his side, as hostile and as vile as he was. And you're always going to get people that will follow you
Oh
for being
yeah.
a bad person.
Yeah. Well, you've only got to look
You
at
know?
these people who are on death row in America, and they've got fan clubs and stuff like that. There is a certain mentality out there of, thankfully, it is a small minority of people who actually worship that type of person.
Yeah,
And the more vile they are, the more the people are attracted to them.
yeah. Girls liking the bad boys.
Well, yeah, but it's
You know?
it's not always just girls liking the bad boys. And this is what a lot of these people whose morals are really questionable rely on,
Yeah.
because they know there's that element of titillation that people know it's wrong, but they just can't.
I can't. That word gets me every time.
There's that element of titillation, Sam. Where people think, I really shouldn't be doing this, but they like it. It's a kink in a way.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, yeah.
Sky got the joke.
That's a surprise. I did try to get Sam to put a red end on a mic, folks, today, but she refused to do it.
She wouldn't be in on
Absolutely. Absolutely. Somebody said something in the chat there, and I can't mention the person's name. People loved a certain person who's begin with H.
Mhm.
Do you know we're talking about a lot about free speech nowadays? Free speech has kind of turned into a license to be very controversial. It's an excuse to be, uh, you know, uh, against minority groups, let's say, and stuff like that. And their excuse is, well, it's free speech. No, it's hateful speech and it's harassment.
Yeah.
But they use the free speech as an excuse for this. And you're seeing that now in America and stuff like that. You know?
Sorry.
You're right there, Brett.
I've just filled up my vape and I've overfilled it, and I've just took a big drag on it and sucked some of the juice up.
Ew.
I've got a mouthful of warm Mandarin flavoured vape juice.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I'll not go there.
Yeah, I'm not going there either.
Yeah, sucking up juice. You said that on camera, Brett, live.
Good job it wasn't sea salt flavour, Sam.
Look out for the edit of that later.
We can edit it out.
I'm just going to go into me a coffee because I'm going to need to get rid of that. Back
All
in a
right,
sec.
go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one to it's a tough one. There are so many ideas that we have, and everyone else has. Well, a lot of other people have, I should say, and a lot of boundaries that we feel should not be crossed. And getting up sometimes and talking about it feels like you're hitting your head against a brick wall, but eventually something has to give, or there has to be, some kind of a consequence for it.
Yeah, it is sad because some people like myself are passionate about what I do. But no matter what you do on YouTube, you're always going to get the flies in the ointment
Yeah,
that will muck it up for everybody else. And unfortunately, we're in a situation where our stuff isn't getting out on YouTube because Steve Hopp is very high up on the. You type in ITC or Spurtbox, Ghostbox, stuff like that. Steve Hopp is going to be somewhere along the top there. And he has done that purposely because if you go back through his videos, the best EVPs ever captured, the best spirit box in the world, the best spirit communication in the world. That's a trending thing. It goes right up on the top shelf. It doesn't matter if it's a load of bullshit, which it is,
mm.
but it goes up on the top there, and we get pushed down.
Yeah,
Do you know? So we don't get notifications going out. He does. But he is sort of dropping off. The thing about YouTube and any genre is to try and do something different than anybody else is doing. Now, I seen an interview yesterday with a lady called Annabella Cardoso, who is an ITC researcher from the old school. And I got to understand this pets thing, this communicating with pets thing. Um, she believes that you can communicate with pets in English. I don't. I
I don't.
don't. She believed that she spoke to her cat. I don't believe that. Even though I have massive respect for Annabella Cardoso, she's not a clout chaser. She's an ITC researcher. She's an old lady that does a few videos about ITC the odd time, and she sits there, hello, my friends, sitting by the fire and that. She's that old school lady. I think this is where Huff and Josh from Hope Paranormal picked up on this new genre. Nobody else is doing it. Everybody's asking us to do spirit box sessions on their favourite celebrities and their loved ones, and personal sessions on Patreon. Let's do something different. People love their pets, and when they pass away, they are hurt, and they remember them for a long time. Why don't we do these sessions where we contact people's pets? Nobody else is doing it on YouTube, but it's backfired on them. It actually makes them look like clowns, and that's when things started dropping off. But they're still doing it. I thought they had learned the mistake, but their views had dropped off because it divided that community and saying, well, I was starting to pick holes in your stuff, Steve, but now I think you're going a little bit crazy.
The thing is, Sam, that those type of people, they're so narcissistic that they will continue with it because they genuinely believe that they are such great entities that people will eventually come round and get suckered in. That is why it's carried on. That they're so far up their own backsides that they can't see their own self-destruction until it's too late.
Yeah. Do you know the strange thing about Huff fans? Now, I've called out Steve a number of times, and I've done videos on that, and next thing I start getting hate. Well, it's not hate. It's like hate. Leave Steve alone. He's a godly man and all the rest of it. And instead of ignoring them, I engage it, and I talked to them. I says, if you do not know anything about ITC, please look at other people in ITC and make comparisons. Don't blindly just follow somebody. And we get into 9 times out of 10, we get into a great conversation. There's no hate. And some of these conversations, they become quite long. Do you know? You know, and just to get that message out there, it's not targeting one specific person. It's trying to save a community, because it is looking like a circus with this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know? And we're not. It's not. I'm not hate campaigning or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm just trying to save. I'm I'm just I'm just expressing how I feel about people disrespecting what we're doing.
But
It,
you just
It's
said there, Sam, about saving the community. What you've got to ask yourself is, can you save a community when the vast majority of it doesn't want to be saved?
no.
They are there. They are there for the drama and the jump scares and the pantomime and the circus of it all. They're not really there for the paranormal as the paranormal. They are there for the frights and thrills it gives them.
yeah.
The vast majority of the paranormal community on YouTube and other social media platforms are not there for the paranormal. They're there for the titillation.
Yes, and actually, but they actually think it's all true, because it's a
Mhm.
false reality. It's a
I don't
false.
think, to be honest with you, Sam, I don't think a lot of them do. I think a lot of them are more than aware that they're being fake, but they genuinely do not care.
Oh
They
yeah, I
see
mean,
dollar signs.
Mm.
yeah, I mean, like at times I've looked at Ghost Adventures. I think it's very entertaining. I don't believe in a lot of the stuff that
Yeah,
they do, and
I'm exactly the same. I'll watch Ghost Adventures as an entertainment. I have never watched it as any sort of authority on the paranormal ever.
do you know, Yvette Fielding is funny as fuck. She
Mm.
screams at everything.
Yeah,
I sometimes watch that just for laughs.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I'll do
Um,
exactly the same.
yeah, but there is a part of the community that have fallen into this false reality, and they actually think that it is all real. You only have to read the comments and stuff like that, but they won't question anything that any of it, because they have followed the masses, they have followed the sheep. They're not going to question it. Well, everybody else believes it, so I'm going to believe it too.
Hmm.
And when I started ghost hunting, I done the same thing. And now I do things differently, and I try to do things as if I never went on an investigation, or I never done a spirit box session before, where I don't know what I'm communicating with. So
Hmm.
I don't label anything or anything like that. But with the YouTube and Facebook and social media paranormal, most of it is based on a script that goes back to the TV shows, that do exactly what's done on
Yeah,
the TV shows.
yeah.
But it's starting to kind of get boring with people.
Well,
It's
if you think about it, the format now is what, 20 years old at least.
Yeah.
It's outdated. Who is Sky?
Sky's just one night.
Oh, I was thinking there was somebody in chat I couldn't see.
No, it's just one night. She said every time she sees Sam light a cigarette, she's got to go outside and have one, and it's cold outside.
Hence
You're
why
gonna
I got,
be
hence
you're
why
gonna
I
be
got a vape.
you're gonna be running in and out a lot, because I smoke like a train lately.
Yeah, yeah. I've noticed that too, and it's kind of put a dampener on things for me as well. I get myself into these situations where I'm like, I'm so put off by the paranormal because of things that I see on YouTube and social media. Like, for instance, probably 2/3 at least of the community of, abandoned exploring or exploring in general have gone to the paranormal because it's like, oh,
Hmm.
this is what's selling right now.
Yeah,
Let's do this. And
yeah, and
every other bloody person wants to do the paranormal, and it's just a mockery.
yeah, and
The,
if you watch a lot of these channels, the the amount of inaccuracy they put out there, even over basic things on like what the equipment is and how it works, it is absolutely unbelievable. And
Yeah, and
people watching it are sucking this info up and taking it as gospel.
mm-hmm. It's like going, oh, we're going on a road trip. Let's stop in at this little motel. Ooh, everybody, this motel's haunted. Ooh.
Yeah,
It's like, no. Especially like when you know places yourself that don't have any kind of a haunted history or anything, and you see people putting stuff up, and oh, it's just so disheartening sometimes. It really is.
the thing about it is, now I need to practice what I preach here as well, and
Mhm.
and and very often I've strayed and got, talked about some of the drama and stuff like that. You kind of have to put yourself in a bubble. I'm sharing what I do on my channel, not
mhm.
influenced by anybody else. Because if you start saying, oh, I start going into, oh, the paranormal community on YouTube is turning into a dumpster fire, you're going to feel down. And a lot of people lately are saying this,
Yeah.
but you do have to think, this is my channel, this is what I do. I'm going to separate myself from this as
Yeah.
much as I can and just do what I want to do.
Yeah,
And I thought people, at times would say, we like a little bit of drama and all the rest of it. On my channel, they flipping don't.
Mm.
hmm
I get given out to on, every time, and I've gone into a little bit of a negative mode lately, and I've done a couple of drama videos in and outside the paranormal,
tut
and
tut.
people and people don't like it. They actually don't like it because they came to me to escape the drama.
Mhm.
Mm.
They thought it was a safe space, and I'm really sorry about that, and I need to think about that. You know?
Yeah, well, it's like me with now I've started up the second channel. It has really been an eye opener for me on how bad the paranormal community actually is.
Oh, it's a dumpster fire.
Because if you going into the wildlife community, which is what I'm doing mainly now, it's like it's a breath of fresh air. They
Yeah.
are an entirely different breed of people. They really are.
Yeah,
And you come back to the paranormal community, and and people who are actually genuinely into the paranormal are like diamonds in the rough in the
Yes.
community. They are so few and far between to find. I think it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
It ain't until you step back from the paranormal and do something else on YouTube you realise how bad the paranormal actually is.
For me, my analogy would be being in the paranormal community, unless you step away, like Sam said, and just do your own thing. Being in the paranormal community is like being in the mosh pit at a bloody rock concert,
Yeah,
whereas being on the wildlife channel is like sitting down and having a nice cup of tea with
yeah.
relaxing
It's
friends.
it's it's a totally stress-free environment. You get nobody on there arguing about anything. Everybody gets on. I'll be back in a sec. Jace is just ringing me.
Okay.
yeah. When I'm doing stuff with my radios and I'm doing my ITC, I'm thinking about my stuff, and that's, it helps me
Hmm.
when I get out, which I can't do, I haven't been able to do for the last 2 months. But when I was able to go out, it to me, the paranormal and my YouTube channel was something that I could do, something that I could focus on. And to lose interest and be disheartened because of what other people do, I think it's the wrong way to look at it, because when you start thinking that way, you need to stop and say, listen, I'm not involved with these people. But at the same time, you do see a lot of problems. No, it's not as big as the beauty community. The beauty community is a complete and utter dumpster fire on this platform. But it's especially UK is one of the most paranormal locations in the world. The United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales. But it's one of the most toxic when it comes to the paranormal on YouTube. I'm not fully aware of the American paranormal people and that. I'm not too big into.
It's no better from what I've seen of it. So
Yeah, but the UK paranormal community was held ransom actually by a couple of groups and a couple of people. Some of them have disappeared into the background. Some of them lost their careers altogether. But when that happens, there's always somebody that slots into the place. And the reason why they do that is because they want instant fame and being controversial. There's one particular person who did lose his career. We kind of spoke about him earlier on, who was connected with people like Ghost of Britain and stuff like that. He was controversial on purpose. Negativity is better. Negativity brings attention, but negative attention is better than no attention at all. Was his thought process. But negativity bites you in the ass eventually, sort of.
Yeah, it does. I actually, I kind of like talked to Brett recently for guidance, because I got to the point where, for me, I was in this rut, as we get in sometimes, where I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to film or anything else, and then I had this filming schedule set up, which fell through. And it involved other parties, but I kind of got disheartened about it for a little while, and then I thought, no, you know what? It's not worth starting drama or starting crap over. And this is the reason why, for me, sometimes I've just walked away from people. And people get upset if you walk away and you just cut them off, if you don't react in some negative way, which is so sad.
yeah.
Some people think that they can take advantage of you, and trust me, if I had to, I'd rip your head off. But I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to walk away and just let bygones.
It really ain't worth getting upset over.
It's really not. I mean, the world will go on. You will keep doing what you love, and that is that.
Exactly.
But you look at this in a positive way. We stream together. We have streamed together for a couple of years, on and off, and we have had long stint. We have had long times where we've streamed 3 times a week.
Yeah.
We have in at times got completely different views on different things. We never fell out.
No.
It's not that hard. We can respect each other's opinion and sometimes learn from the other person as well.
Yeah.
But in other cases where you have 3 people, a little group like this, somebody wants to be at the top of that. Somebody wants to be the one that stands out, the leader. And that's where there's a little bit, it starts becoming a conflict. The way we've done things is the person's channel, whoever's doing the live stream, is kind of the leader for that day. And then when we go on to somebody else's channel, they're the leader for that day. There's
Yeah.
no conflict of hierarchy in this, but that's where other people actually screw up a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
because we can sit down and have a conversation, and we know boundaries. We respect each other's. What am I going to say? We respect each other's opinion, and we can share our thoughts and go, you know what? I see where you're coming from, Sam. I kind of saw it like this, but I respect your opinion as well. And we can kind of have these conversations where we throw ideas off each other, and it meshes well. Do you know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
one person going, you're not allowed to feel that way. You've got
Yeah.
to feel this way that I do. You
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Sometimes when you don't agree with somebody with a belief or a theory or whatever,
Hmm.
it's important not to throw the whole thing out. You still might learn something from it and take a little piece from it.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't agree with you, but I kind of get your understanding on this and this and this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do rather than throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Do
Hmm.
uh, you know, uh, disagreements and debate. There's a lot of learning to come from that, but a lot of people they want to be the winner of the debate and put the other person down completely, and not actually look into the thing that they disagree with and see if there's something that they can take from that and learn from that, even if they still disagree.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, if you disagree, well, why do you disagree? Okay, well, what makes you think that way? Explain it to me and have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
You know? I live in history. Carol said, what makes me laugh is creators that tell you you're not allowed to go to certain channels and people actually do as they're told.
Oh yeah.
Yep, I've never told people that, even if I've had a falling out with someone or whatever else. Go to their channel. You know, this is what we're here for. Go and enjoy content.
Yeah, what I found on YouTube is the bigger the paranormal channel, in a lot of cases, the more toxic the actual community is. If you have a difference of opinion, very often it's not respected. You're then classed as a hater, and then you're targeted. And that's why sometimes I if I want to go into somebody's community and have a debate on a certain thing, I'll go in anonymously, because I'm not going to put my own channel at risk and get targeted.
Hmm.
I'll be respectful in that, but I'm not going to. I've seen these communities where you say one thing out of place, and next thing the whole community is all piled on top of you because everybody else is piling on top, and then half of them don't know why they're piling on top of you. They're just a hate mob. Sometimes just this hate mob goes straight after you, and they actually don't know why they hate you. They're just doing it because everybody else is doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like one of these scrums where everybody's just jumping on the pile to get a punch at the guy, and they don't even know what he done wrong. Do you know?
And it is like sheep, though. You put a stick at an open gate, and every sheep that goes over it will jump because the one in front of it jumped.
Yeah.
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 I'll be right back.
Okay.
Do you know? Let's see what's in the chat. Yeah, I think this thing about copyright striking and stuff like that, it's sort of being used as a kind of a weapon, or a a community guideline strike. It's kind of used as a kind of a weapon. It's looked down very very highly on on this platform. It's just a scummy thing to do.
It is.
You know.
Do you think things will ever get better, Sam?
With the paranormal, I don't think so. Not on YouTube. YouTube's an entertaining platform, and they've gone for this certain genre for 20 years about entertaining people, no matter if it's factual or entertaining. You know, you can be factual and entertaining, but the more factual you are and the more logical you are, it seems the less people are interested. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So, in order to sort of compensate for that, when me and Rachel were going out, we sometimes cracked jokes and mucked about.
Yeah.
Just to put a bit of a laugh to it. But both of us are actually very, very serious about the paranormal. Rachel is extremely focused on the night. For some reason, she doesn't like looking at the video afterwards. But she's
Mind you,
very focused.
a lot of people are like that, Sam.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like that, where they won't actually look at what they've done.
Yeah, and on a research point of view, it's me that does all of that, and most of the times, I don't even point out the paranormal stuff, but I know it's there. I know it's there, and I show it to Rachel and stuff like that. Sometimes I don't make most of the time I don't make a song and dance if I get a direct reply from the Spirit Box. It happens a lot, but I just don't make a song and dance about it. But, when you don't point it out, people don't actually miss it.
Yeah.
So, basically, what we're doing is we used to do our investigations, and then, the Spirit Box sessions. I'm doing the Spirit Box sessions because I want to. Then I put it on YouTube. It's a separate thing.
Yeah.
Paranormal and YouTube, completely different things. YouTube showing it to the public is a byproduct of that. The actual paranormal. The reason you're going to do the paranormal, is it because you want to make a YouTube video for your channel to get popular? It's very easy to fall into that.
Yeah.
But go to try and focus and try to stay focused. The real reason you want to experience the paranormal and all the rest of it, kind of put YouTube aside that night, and then start focusing on how you present that. We don't do very much in presentation, to be honest with you. We give people everything. Some people they say on YouTube you shouldn't put out a video any longer than 30 minutes, and we have a group here that shrink down a couple hours of an investigation to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't work. But then you got this up and coming generation that want 1 minute video shorts, because they want to go through as many videos as possible, but they want them little short videos. I don't understand shorts. Maybe I'm getting old.
It's not something you could really do in the paranormal, is it?
You can put out little pieces of evidence and stuff, captures or EVPs and stuff, but you don't get an essence of the atmosphere. And that's where lives are very important. Live streaming is very important with the paranormal. Or putting a premiere out that's got everything uncut, 2 or 3 hours. And some people actually like that experience because they can't go paranormal investigating because possibly they've got disabilities and stuff like that. There's a lot of people in my community that have disabilities and stuff.
Yeah.
And they love the paranormal. They love to experience it. And to put out stuff raw and natural, they feel that they're there. You know,
Yeah.
rather than the polished, edited content that YouTube recommend. The 30 minutes, squeeze down 30 minutes. Just don't get that experience in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
You need that couple of hours. Yes, there's times where nothing happens, but I don't know. If you cut out too much, you lose that atmosphere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm just doing something too.
So I
Where's
said I didn't get my smoke because as I passed by the kitchen, a bowl of vanilla ice cream with caramel topping called out to me. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to pass that up.
Yeah, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay,
Okay, no problem.
I had to check my wood fire.
You would fire.
Yeah, I've got the fire going. I almost don't need it now though. It is getting warmer.
I was going to say, I thought it'd have been nice and cool in Oz
Yeah,
now.
yeah, it is warming up. Um, I only put actually at night time. I only put like a couple of logs on the fire and then just kind of let it go out just to warm the house a little. But where I am, it's currently 10. It was 18 today, so we're getting over the 20s now. Sometimes,
That ain't bad then.
yeah, it's pretty good. Using a different editor. Who was it? Mark and Annette. I'm starting to go over my own videos. It's strange to look at yourself. Trust me. I mean, my first videos was either the end of 2017, beginning of 2018. And when I look back at them now, the way that I film, edit, the way that I look, talk, everything is so different. Like you grow so much. And I think the biggest part of this journey, which we've already touched on tonight talking, is the way that you grow in your education of the paranormal
Mm-hmm.
because you learn so much. You make mistakes and you grow.
Oh yeah,
Thank you, Guy.
there's no doubt there you do.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the beliefs that I had when I first came into the paranormal, I think now have changed a great deal. The way that I viewed the afterlife has changed. Um, I think when I first touched on the paranormal, it was all about the spirit of loved ones that you've lost and stuff, and it's opened up a whole new world to me.
Yeah.
Bigfoot, Yowie, aliens. I'd had an alien experience, but anyway, and
You had an alien experience.
yeah, when I was little. Well, I saw a UFO. I told the story I think on our alien live we did that night, and I was telling my sister about it the next day. I said, "Do you remember when we lived at Kingsvale?" And I said there was one night we were sitting in the lounge room. I was only 7, so Tammy was about 5. I said, "And you remember we saw something out the window?" She goes, "Oh, the alien." I said, "You remember it too?" And she
So
remembered.
she actually remembers it.
Yeah, she remembers it too. Yep. UFO in the sky.
Wow.
Yeah. It was very cool. You should be sharing your birdie stream.
I know. Well, it does go out on Twitter automatically, but I ought to really. It's all right. I'm just messing with some material while I'm waiting for Sam to come back.
It's okay.
It's doing my nutting.
You got 60 subscribers now. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone is interested, I'm going to drop the link here for Brett's new wildlife channel. He also has a website that you can go and check out and get some information about the animals and birds and things that he sees and can capture on camera.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So go on, next topic.
I have no idea.
You're useless.
I am useless. I am. I'm just one of those.
Just it just shows you we don't have a script. You know, everything's off the cuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly, it's real. Oh, show how your puppy gives her high five. Sam, your puppy, give her a high five.
Oh,
She's eating.
she's.
She's eating.
I'll do it. I'll do it in a couple of minutes when she stops eating.
Yeah, it's so cute.
Food is the priority. Do you know? The only thing is, when she gets a high five, she's expecting a treat. That's the way I trained her to do it in the first place. You know, a high five for a treat. You know, she starts sticking the tongue out after I give the high five, which means, you know, I'm doing this high five. Where's my treat? You know, and she gets into.
So where is the treat?
I already give it to her. That's why I can't do the high five. She's eating it at the moment. A little stick, you know, a chewy stick.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I watched a UFO change from silver to black in a split second. There's been a lot of UFOs seen recently, isn't there?
Yes.
Like a lot.
Yeah. There, you know what I mean. There's a lot of sort of more information where you know you've got the anti-gravity technology and all the rest of it, and then the fact that what happens, you know, the speed, the change of direction, our human bodies would not put up with that. You know, it would not cope with such speed and such change of direction, because if you're, you know, we travel on airplanes at a couple of 100 miles an hour. You feel the effects at the beginning, you feel the effects at the end of the journey when there's acceleration and deceleration. But when you're going at a couple of 100 miles an hour, there's nothing that you don't feel it. You don't feel it. But when you have a change of speed, a change of direction, that's where the human body doesn't cope. Now, one of the theories is that some of these crafts are actually the aliens. The crafts themselves are an alien being, technology, whatever you know. Look outside the realm of little green men getting into a spacecraft. Think possibly of the craft itself being the being, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's one of the theories, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the videos on YouTube of people training to be fighter jet pilots and them going through zero gravity. Like, it puts a huge strain on the human body.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
You know, but
Anything is
the
possible.
yeah, the craft seems to have an intelligence of its own, sort of thing, possibly.
Yeah.
You know, where they're, you know, we're going into a technology now where you know we have crafts that are unmanned. You know, is it a possibility that in this alien world they have unmanned craft as well, where they don't have to be actually in them? You know?
Like an alien Mars rover. There is actually no beings on board, but it comes here to gather information.
Yeah,
Mm, that's actually a good point.
you know. Um, I don't know if the launch happened. I think it might have, but there's a sort of a gear up to the next expedition to the moon, and on the South Poles, it's believed that there is water. Now, if there's water, there's possibly life, and that's what the astronauts this time are going to be sort of focusing on. Maybe other things, but there was emphasis on the possibility of water in the south pole of the moon. So they're sort of going to be looking into that. You know.
That's going to be interesting, isn't it? Seeing the next moon trip.
Yeah, because we haven't done a trip to the moon since that last journey so many years ago, and actually the technology was dismantled and forgotten about. But now we've got this new technology.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was shuttles and that kind of thing, and we've gone into reusable rockets, which I find fascinating that they can go up and then come back down and land properly. And as well as that, instead of just NASA, you've got these other companies that NASA, that NASA are being assisted with. Like Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos and stuff like that. There's more people getting involved rather than just NASA.
Where do you think we'd be if Jeff Bezos got involved in paranormal research? What do you think somebody like him would be able to bring to the table?
It's very difficult because science is a little bit. Science and the paranormal sometimes conflict. And then when you look at things like Skinwalker Ranch, it'd be something like the Skinwalker Ranch investigation where it would happen for a number of years. I yet have to see this comment because there's something going on in the background, which is apparently very funny, and I'm not aware of it right now, and I am now going to reveal to myself and possibly laugh as well.
Oh, sorry, guys. Sky's comment was when you said they lost the technology for the moon. I was just asking when that was that they said that. Was it recently or years ago?
It was years ago, and actually the technology that was used. I'm going to
Sorry.
lie. I still haven't seen it, but the technology that was used years ago, our phones are more powerful now. When you think of it that kind of
Well,
way,
I think they said, Sam, that the technology used to put the men on the moon is less than what is in a modern calculator.
there's not much technology in a calculator, to be honest with you.
But
You know,
apparently a modern calculator has got more processing power than what they used to put a man on the moon in '69.
there was a lot of intricate work put into some of the chips. There was ladies there weaving wires into these chips and that, and there was a lot of intricate work. But it was sort of handmade technology and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Sam's itching to know what we're laughing about. Have
Oh
you looked
God.
yet, Sam?
Ah,
Have you got?
yes.
Have you got?
I
I was
like the
gonna.
way my yeah. I like the way my eyes is pointing the opposite direction, kind of going.
I saw it and I was getting ready to show everyone, and then I had put my glasses on. I went, "Ooh, no."
Yes, unfortunately, folks, we cannot share the joke.
Message
it's
me later.
it's sort of 18 plus content, if you know what I mean. We don't want to get cancelled on YouTube.
You know, Brett.
Yes, yes. The last stream we done with Brett was the mystery box, and I was saying to a friend some of the things that happened with that mystery box open, and then we have no streams after that. So the last video on the channel was the mystery box opening and those things that happened. And I'm thinking, what? You know what I mean? I'm going. I'm going. This is the last video that we see on that channel, and some of the items that were in the mystery boxes, i.e., Brett.
Oh, the one we did.
There was something blue in it. And I'm thinking to myself, what the and I'm going, whoa.
It's like synchronicity. We had, me and Julie actually had an episode of synchronicity the other day, because Julie messaged me on Facebook and we were chatting and we got talking about the Queen. And then I went off the chat, and as soon as I went off the chat to Julie, Jay says, "Oh, my mum's just messaged me and the Queen's died." And we were literally talking about the Queen dying seconds before. So I literally messaged Julie back. I put, "You won't believe it, but she's actually died."
I was like, what? We've had that happen a couple of times though, like us three.
Yeah.
There was a couple of days ago, and now this is before the Queen died. A friend of mine was talking about the old UK or the British nursery rhymes and how fecked up they were. And there was one: the Queen is in the parlour, the King is, it was something to do with a pie, and the birds came out of the pie. I can't remember the whole thing. But the day after she sang that rhyme, the ice cream van was going around with that actual rhyme coming out of the ice cream van, which is very unusual for an ice cream van. But it was about the King and Queen.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got this situation.
Wow.
It's kind of weird, like.
Do you honestly think the Queen would ever come back and want to talk to anybody?
I think she's probably lived that much of a good life that she's probably quite content. I think now. That's what I would think.
She might come.
Go on, Sam.
She might come back at the odd time in the middle of the night and kick Andrew's ass.
Mm-hmm.
Or Harry.
That wouldn't surprise me. But I think it's got to the point, and you could see it, that once Prince Philip died, something in her went as well.
Yeah.
She's always had the stiff upper lip and, keep calm and carry on attitude. But there was definitely some. It was like, I know that people said she'd got a broken heart, and I said to somebody yesterday on Facebook, she hadn't got a broken heart, she'd got a broken spirit.
Yeah, a piece of her was gone.
You can mend a broken heart, but a broken spirit people rarely recover from.
Yeah.
And I think now she's with Philip, she's where she wants to be. And I think this is why a lot of people, like me, when I said a lot of my family haven't come back, I've never spoken to any of my family. I think it's because when you've got, they've reached somewhere where they're perfectly content and don't need to.
Yep.
And this thing with us, there is absolutely no way the Queen of England would come back and he'd be the first person she'd want to talk to. Can you just see her? I've died. I best get on off Paranormal and let everybody know how I am.
Yeah,
but it's ridiculous that people fall for it.
But Steve is so far up his own backside. He thinks he can do it. Yeah. Michael Jackson comes in and talks. John the Baptist. I'm sorry, I don't have my sound bites working today, but yeah.
Something holy.
You'll have to get Julie to forward it to you, Jazz.
I tell you, if I died and, my kids were still here, whatever age they are, and I came back and it tore them to pieces, why would you want to come back and keep causing them that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
pain
because
here?
it's like reliving the grief over and over and over again. If somebody does
Yep,
that,
you can't heal.
yeah, it's
Yep.
like I said. The first thing I'm going to do when I die is come back to you two and give you both proof.
Oh,
I'm just,
please
I,
do.
I'm just going to, kick convention and come back and give you the proof that everybody needs.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of people want that comfort, you know.
Hmm.
I mean, like my friends' uh, personal messages are still on my phone, and then I go into her Facebook. I says, "Wonder did she ever post any videos?" She's got one video where she's racing her daughter, and you can't hear her voice. And
Hmm.
that to me, I was sad about that because I couldn't hear her voice.
Hmm.
People are desperate to hear that other person's voice, but very often, I think in ITC, because there's no voice, human voice box as such.
Yeah.
There's a possibility that a dead relative or a dead person may be able to contact you, but some of the time that voice may not be their voice. They're using what the frequencies that they can. Now, some of them frequencies may be missing and will distort the voice.
Mm.
You know, that is a theory.
Yeah.
Don't take it as gospel, but there has been EVPs sent for analysis using voice analysis software used by the FBI, and some of these EVPs have matched dead relatives that
Hmm.
had been picked up on recorders. You'll find some of the videos on YouTube. They're very hard to find because it's paranormal science, and nobody's interested in paranormal science. They want to go out and do the ghost hunting, get the K2 and the PSP7, and go out and get spooked in a graveyard and stuff. They're not interested in the science, but some of the science is actually fantastic. Some of the evidence and the way it was presented, it's not presented in the same way anymore.
Hmm.
You know?
See, Jazz has made a good point there. If somebody told me they spoke to someone I lost not that long ago, I would be angry, and they could do that. And yeah, and that kind of anger would be directed two ways. One, it would be directed at that person for doing it, but surely it's also going to be directed at the loved one as well. They're going to be sitting there thinking, why did you go to them and not make the effort to come to me?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you've got to consider, right? Consider when you do stuff like this.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because there is so many boundaries that you're crossing.
Do you
Well,
know?
I wouldn't, for instance, go to Jazz's family and do a spirit box session and, go, oh, there you go, Jazz. I would actually wait for someone to ask me, can
Yeah,
you do this for me?
yeah,
Okay, I'll do this, and then keep it private between them.
yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, people are desperate to hear about their young ones, their loved ones, and they will go to these people like psychics, and they'll go to people that do. It's hard to say that they do ITC, but they pretend that they do ITC because they're not doing it right. But not that I know what's right or wrong or anything like that, but they pay these people to do a personal spirit box session where it's not guaranteed what
There's
comes through. I don't know who
there's
I'm
no
talking to.
guarantees, Sam. There's no guarantees.
I've got direct responses and I know it works, but I still don't know who they are because they're not telling me. I don't know why they're not telling me. They're coming up with these bunches of names all the time. I I don't know what message they're trying to tell me with these names. Why do they keep telling me these names?
Mm-hmm.
Who the flip is Ed? Who is Aaron? Who happens to be the same name as a friend of mine that passed away, but it's just a name.
Yeah.
Where's the information? I might get it in a couple of months. I mightn't get it at all. Do you know? But for somebody, it's taking money off grieving people.
Yeah.
There is a lady that we know that
It is cashing in on grief. Go on, Sam. Sorry.
yeah, there is a lady that I kind of know. A friend of mine has spoken about her, who goes to a psychic. She hasn't got very much money, but she goes to a psychic every Monday, spends 20 euros for a psychic reading, and plans her week around what the psychic says.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there who do that, Sam. They ring up these psychic lines. They cannot make a decision in their life without ringing a psychic line or their favourite psychic and getting confirmation off them before they do anything. And it's really an awful way to live if you think about it.
Yeah. Do you know, I got certain bits of sensitivity. It's a bit like an AM radio. I can sense a few things, but I cannot understand sensing things as much on a phone or a email or a text or anything like that. Do you know you get feelings? You get you get hyped up feelings in certain places or off certain people. There's a barrier there when you're talking about the phone or an email. An email much more so, where you're completely disconnected from that other person. But it is a cash grab.
Yeah.
Largely. Yeah, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, without a doubt, it's a cash grab. And then and this all ties back into the morals thing, and like what I said earlier, there are so many get out clauses for people manipulating the paranormal that it's unreal.
Well,
You
if
know,
you're
and
doing if you're doing it for Jesus, you get a free pass, apparently.
yeah,
You
and
know?
if you think about it, Jesus is the last person who'd want you to be doing it if you're following the teachings of the Bible. It is really strange how people's ideas and beliefs develop.
Well, even the church have a conflicting uh, they have a conflicting idea of talking to spirits, because one of the first EVPs was actually from a priest who was recording chants on a wire recorder, and the wire, I've used a wire recorder before. They're a pain in the ass. The wire keeps breaking. It's about as thick as a human hair, and the slightest little jolt, it'll snap the wire, and you have to tie it and cut it and that. And he got frustrated, and he said something, "Father, please help me," and that. And his father's voice came through on an EVP on the recording when he recorded. And he kept that secret because he didn't want to tell the bishop, because he thought it was bad. But then he says, "I'm being bad by keeping this from the bishop." So he told the bishop, and the bishop says, "Well, that's good. Do you know, news like this will bring people to the church." So it was okay to this was okay. It confirmed that your father is in spirit, and it will increase people's faith. So let it out there. You know, so people pick and choose what way to
Yeah,
believe, and then they will twist a belief to suit themselves. But churches do that with the Bible all the time.
yeah,
You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of Christians out there who will attack the people in the paranormal and say that, we're all possessed by demons and we're talking to demons and all of this. And um, what was I going to say? It's kind of ironic because I had someone say something to me not so long ago, and it was in regard to Ouija boards because I'd asked about Ouija boards,
Yeah.
and I said, "What do you think about them?" And they said, "Well, if you play with one, you're going to get possessed by a demon." And I said, "It's a communication tool. Do you know that?" "Yes, you're communicating with demons." I said, "Well, if a Ouija board is a communication device and you're talking to demons, why is a spirit box not, talking to demons? Because it's a communication device."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can't use that.
Yeah, but the emphasis, you see, the paranormal is advertised as a spooky, negative, demonic thing. Very often, you post a video, oh, it's going to be spooky night, guys, and then they have an intro with a dark graveyard and some skulls. I mean, like, look at this. Do you know what I mean? This kind of negative, dark thing, and the positivity and light it's not the thing in the paranormal. It's the negativity and it's the dark forces and stuff. Not to say that they don't exist, but there's a lot more to it. Now, actually, Steve Huff has caught on to this, and he wants to change it around. So he's painted all his rooms white, and he's painted his communication equipment white as well, because he wants to attract the light. Now, the reason why he wants to attract the light is because nobody else is doing it. It's a new thing.
It's not only that, Sam. He's one of these people who knows that religion sells.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
religion is big money, and not just Christianity, any religion.
Yeah.
You get it, Scientology, look at them, they attract, all the big Hollywood stars with the big money. Religion, first and foremost, is about control and money. Always it has been and always will be. And he's using the religious angle now to drag in a bigger audience because he has burned his bridges with so many of the more compact paranormal community. I think he now feels he needs to expand into a wider community, and the widest community you can expand into is the religious one.
Yeah, I says on a not the shorts video that I just done. I done a video with the confrontation he had with his friends and stuff like that, and I says the thing that Steve messed up on is, yes, have your own views, but why don't you get involved with the community?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Go on some podcasts and stuff like that. He's kept everything to himself. He says on his video, he says, I don't have very many friends. I'm here with my wife, and we're in the woods. We're like hermits. I have one more friend, which is probably true.
Mm-hmm.
But why didn't he embrace everybody else? Probably because he's so pig-headed that he thinks he's better than everybody else, which is sad. It is actually sad. And he actually was emotional about losing his friend to this big argument, but he just doesn't see. He's so pig-headed. He puts himself so far up on a pedestal that he wants gratification for everything. He wants
adulation. What he wants is adulation. That is what he wants.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I think he thinks he's above everybody else. And I says a couple of times, Steve, if he wanted to come on a podcast and talk on my channel, which he never do because I'm nothing on YouTube, I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah.
I'd love to see his point of view. He never actually puts his point of view properly on his channel. He just says, this is how it is. Every so often, when he gets into a little bit of controversy, he says, right, I'm going to need to be open and honest about how this works. And he'll do a video on it, and it's very vague. He's not having those conversations like we're having the conversation in the community.
Yeah.
He thinks he's above the community.
Yeah, see, I would conflict with someone like that. But me being me, if I walked into a conversation with someone and they said, I've been in this industry for this many years and this is how it is, it's black and white like this, and you can't argue with me, I would have a very hard time not arguing with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's not black and white.
Yeah. The paranormal is not the place where you can have rigid thinking anyway.
Oh God, no.
Because nothing is proven, you cannot say it's I do it this way and that is the only way and the right way. Because until we know exactly what we're dealing with, which in some cases we may never will, it is all going to be supposition. There is no right or wrong in the paranormal as it currently stands.
Yeah, I mean, like Steve throws around this thing about scientifically proven. This is scientifically proven. I haven't seen the scientific proof actually,
Mm-hmm.
but because he says it, his followers believe it, and
Believe it, yeah.
you know. But
Well,
I'm taking.
that's a common marketing strategy, Sam. With anything, you know, you see adverts selling stuff, and they put 8 million people prefer blah blah blah. They never provide the proof of where where they've got this 8 million figure from. As long as they state it, it's just automatically believed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people think, possibly I hate Steve Huff and that. If I was in America and Steve Huff rang me, myself and Debbie would like to invite you over for dinner. Would I go? Yes, I would. Because I'd love to have that conversation.
Oh
But
yeah,
nobody gets a chance to have that conversation. It was him and Josh, and the two of them ran with a narrative. But he never came onto other people's podcasts and put his point of view on and let other people put their point of view on and have those conversations that people can learn of each other. Because I think I think
he's
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 a
frightened that
narcissist.
he's frightened that one is a narcissist, and two he's frightened if he puts himself into a situation where he cannot control the narrative, he knows he's going to be outed on a lot of what he claims, and he knows
Well,
that. So he's deliberately avoiding the situation of putting himself in it.
well, to avoid controversy, narcissist is a possibility. We can't medically say that he's a narcissist, but he's behaving like a narcissist,
Oh yeah,
big time. Do you know? And it's sad. It's sad because he was passionate in the beginning. He's probably still passionate now. Do you know? He probably does have very very strong beliefs. But we'd like to know where them beliefs came from and how it developed and stuff like that and have that conversation. But he doesn't allow that happen. He keeps a lot of things to himself, which is actually just damaging himself.
yeah.
Do you know he would be more popular if he joined people in conversations, and it would help people to know him better. But nobody kind of knows him very well. All they know is that he's doing these spurt box sessions and putting himself up on a pedestal, and some of the things that he says he made a mistake, but you've got these banks of sound bites in apps and the communication devices that he's possibly faking stuff and all the rest of it. We can have that conversation too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd love to know where all this came from because he was very passionate in the beginning. So there is an interest there. But he just isolates himself, and I think it actually is quite sad.
Yeah.
Because in the end, like it is with any of the channels that get really big, the fame and the fortune gradually overtakes what
The
they
thing,
initially came into it for.
the thing is, people say that Huff is all about money. I don't think he's making a huge amount, to be honest.
Oh, he is. Oh, he is. Believe me, he is.
Yeah, he's got other channels about cameras and stuff like that. But these communication devices and stuff.
Hmm.
That's not a huge marketing thing
Yeah, but
because,
his main money will not be coming from his
well,
wonder
it's pay
boxes
it
or whatever
Patreon and
or whatever
Patreon
he's
and stuff.
calling them out. It'll be his Patreon, it'll be
Yeah,
PayPal, and his biggest income will be YouTube revenue. I guarantee you that. Advert revenue and paid promotion and all that kind of stuff. He will be making a very tidy sum monthly, believe me.
if he had stuck with radio communications like he did in the beginning, he was able to afford the mini box and the Frank's box and a lot of stuff that we can't afford. And if he produced a Spirit box and got a company to make it, possibly nearly everybody would have some sort of device from Steve Huff.
But he
As
can't do
as
that. He can't do that, though, Sam. He
as
can't do
pot.
that on. Sorry, Sam. He can't do that on the basis of the equipment he uses isn't even something he's designed. He's just
No,
using a guitar amp and stuff, and that is why he cannot mass produce his wonder boxes and stuff because he's basically using other people's technology.
yeah, but if he had produced a hacked radio, a radio Spirit box like a PSP-7, it may be as popular as the PSP-7, and we may all have them back in the
Hmm.
day. Do you know? Because there was when he went down this route with the Wonder Box and all this kind of stuff. The problem he had is he was using an amplifier called a Lunchbox, and I think Lunchbox possibly was trying to sue him or did sue him or something like that, where apparently he was taking the serial numbers off pieces of equipment because it's just an assembly, you're using other people's products.
Hmm.
You know, if he back in the day when he was using radios and stuff, hacked radios and custom built boxes, he could have got a company to make him a custom built box, and he could have marketed that, and he could have made more money. So it was a bad. I think it was a bad decision, a bad business decision, to market these wonder boxes because I don't think, as much as they were very very expensive, you can't mass market something that's thousands of pounds because the general public can't afford that. Something
He,
small, something affordable, he would have made huge amount of money back
he
in the
just
day.
if he could have sold his wonder boxes to the extent that mass producing them, they would have come down in price anyway. But he knows, and you've got to take into consideration his past history,
Mm.
what he's done in the past, and he's always been in sales.
Yeah,
And the best way to guarantee selling something is to make it as exclusive as possible. This is why Ferrari do well, and Mercedes and BMW, because they are perceived as an exclusive top of the range thing. And this is what he's done with his Wonderbox. He's,
yeah.
he's took the cheapest equipment he can, bunged it all together with a bit of wire and pretty lights, and then claimed it's the top of the range. And because he's got so many followers, people have believed him. And that is why he is charging thousands of pounds for something that's cost 100 quid to make.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's so easy to make. I can put it together in a couple of minutes. I've got the pedals, I've got the amplifier. I can do it. All I need is a couple of spray cans and some lights, and
Hmm.
there you go. But if he had a Spirit box, like when he was doing Spirit boxes back in the day, he could have had something that trended as much as the PSP-7. And he probably would have made more money because he could have marketed something affordable.
Hmm.
But then he went from, thinking outside, trying to think outside the box. Right, everybody's doing the radio communication. Let's go outside the radio communication and possibly go into application and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he walked away from using radio. You know, but if he had stuck with radio, he could have had a product backed by some company that makes them, and he could have had a viral product as viral as, say, the PSP 7.
Yeah.
You know, and he would have made it. He would have made a lot of money, but he chose not to do that. He went down the route of small batches of these wonder boxes that are just assembled stuff. It's not invented. It's not built. It's just sticking pedals on an amplifier and decorating them up and putting lights on them and stuff like that. There's nothing special about it. Do you know?
Yeah.
Mailman? Was that the mailman?
Yeah. Well, the male woman.
Mail woman, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get a Coco?
The female woman.
Yeah.
The she-male. Male woman.
I thought they were on strike.
They're back today, I think.
Oh.
Well, they obviously am because they've turned up.
I thought they were going to take a couple of days off because of the Queen, because it's kind of a royal service. It's Royal Mail.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah.
Well, I think that they're having an official bank holiday for the funeral, and they're obviously they'll have one for his coronation, but his coronation might not be until next year at the earliest.
Yeah,
Because
they said for the Queen
I think it was about 15 months after the Queen actually ascended the throne before she got coronated.
Oh.
Yeah, 18 months, and
Yeah.
I think her father, it was 19 months, they said. Yeah.
But they will definitely do a bank holiday for the funeral, and they'll probably do one during the period of mourning, because I believe she's still at Holyrood at the moment in Scotland, isn't she? I think she's there until Monday, and then they're bringing her Monday. They're bringing her to Westminster Abbey, where she'll lie in state until the funeral. The day of the funeral, there'll be a bank holiday declared, so everything in the UK will be closed. Obviously, I presume it will in Australia and all the other Commonwealth countries as well. And then they'll obviously do the funeral, and then once that's over, then it'll all be gearing up for his months and months of planning for his coronation.
Well, once they do her funeral, she stays there for 3 or 4 days or something, isn't it? So public can pay respects.
She'll be moved. I think it's Monday. They're bringing her down to Westminster Abbey.
Yeah.
And she'll be lying in state then in Westminster Abbey.
Oh, okay.
And people can go in and pay respects to her while the coffin's on the thing, and she'll be there right up until the day of the funeral.
Yeah.
Then they'll have the big service where we'll have the bank holiday. Then she's being taken to Windsor Castle in Windsor, and she's being buried, and they're actually moving Prince Philip's body as well.
Yeah, to be with her.
Into the so he lies next to her. So there's a lot going to be going on over the next 10 days. But I think we're officially in mourning for 10 days.
Yeah. Yeah. So much involved
she loves Scotland, Sky. She always did. Scotland and Windsor were her two favourite places.
Isn't that where her father passed away as well? Scotland?
I ain't sure where King George was when he died. He may have been.
I think he was.
See, because the royals spend so much time in Scotland, they actually have separate plans for if a royal dies in Scotland or if they die at the palace. But the Queen stated last year that she was never coming back to Buckingham Palace. She was staying at Windsor. But Balmoral is their holiday location, and that's why she was on holiday when she died. That's why she was at Balmoral.
Yeah, it was something unicorn, wasn't it? They call it something unicorn.
Yeah, if she dies in London, they enact Operation London Bridge.
Yeah.
If she dies in Scotland, they enact Operation London Bridge, but they also enact another one on top, which is to do with the being in Scotland, which is Operation Unicorn. So Operation Unicorn will all take place now, and then it'll switch over to Operation. Well, parts of Operation London Bridge are already in effect, like with how it was announced of a death and stuff like that, because all the newscasters over here they have to keep black outfits at the studio. So as soon as she died, they had to quickly run out, get changed into black, and then get back on and announce the death. That's why that is all part of Operation London Bridge. But obviously, because she was up at Balmoral, Operation Unicorn takes precedence first because they have to deal with her being in Scotland first. That is why she's been taken to Holyrood, which is her ancestral home. I think it was where the Queen Mother's from. So she'll lie in state there for a few days. Then there's going to be a procession down the Royal Mile in Scotland, and then she's going to be taken down to Westminster in London, where she'll lie in state until the funeral.
Yeah.
I was actually quite upset over Diane because I am not a royalist at all. You know, I ain't really got much time for our royal family, but I've got a lot of respect for the woman. You know,
Yeah.
She said when she ascended the throne, whether her life was long or short, it was going to be dedicated to serving the country, and that is exactly what she did for 70 years. You know, so you've got to respect the woman, whether you like her or not.
I have a lot of respect for her.
Yeah, I kind of look at it as not so much, you know, the royal side of that things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's publicized. You know, somebody died, their family's upset and stuff like that, and I'm a soft person, and I'm going to be upset no matter who they are, sort of thing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, politically, I've got strong political beliefs about,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the royal family and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
same here. So.
But you know, that's beside the point. You know, she was a mother, she was a grandmother.
Exactly.
That's the
a
way
great grandmother.
I saw her. You know, and do you know the other thing about it is you know, a lot of, you know, there's a lot of people that are conflicting with each other and stuff like that. But when it comes to somebody like that who dies, they all come together with a common cause. They're all grieving together and stuff like that. And it was even more evident when Diana died. I mean, the front of the palace was just covered in flowers. I never seen so many flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and there was a lot of people upset. There's a lot of people upset now that aren't royalists.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, she was, and there's people in America say, well, you know, she was the grandma to the people, sort of thing. And even these countries that are not in the Commonwealth, do you know, they say, well, she was the grandma to the people. Doesn't matter if I'm in America or that. That's what we sort of looked at her as. And she's passed away, and I'm upset about it.
Yeah. See, what is really funny is nobody under the age of 70 has ever known anything but Elizabeth on the throne. Yeah. Because she has been there so long. You know, the vast majority of people in the Commonwealth have never known anything but Queen Elizabeth. And I think that is why it hit people so hard. It's because she has been a constant in everybody's life, or pretty much everybody's life who's still alive. You know, the vast majority of people are under 70.
She was crowned before my dad was born.
Yeah.
If there was a situation where Charles says, William, I want you to take the throne, I'm too old for this shit.
Never happened.
If it did happen, you would see a modern shift, which I don't think it's going to happen now because, you know, Charles is stuck in his ways and stuff like that. But if it was William, there would be a significant change over the next number of years within the royal family and the way things are done and the traditions and stuff like that. Those things would change because they're modern people, you know.
I'm not saying that Charles will be a bad king. I think he will be a good king, but
he's waited. He's wanted the throne for years.
He has, but I think that William will be a great king.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot
I
of
do,
people.
I do think that Elizabeth is going to be the last great monarch of Britain.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever have another monarch to, of the caliber she is. And I do think that eventually she will be known as Elizabeth the Great. That is how history will refer to her as.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think with William, I think he's the nearest connection to Diana, and she was loved,
Mm-hmm.
and he would be very, very popular,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. But see, I've never been one who subscribed to the Princess Diana thing because, let's put it bluntly, when she died, her funeral was a circus. Without any doubt, it was a complete and utter circus. People screaming and shouting, and and overreacting, and watching the what was his name, Bashir interview. She was as manipulative as the rest of them. When she first went into that family, she was very shy and very retiring, but she learned fast, and it was evident in that video that she did. She had learned to become as manipulative and sly as the rest of them. So she was not the saint a lot of people make her out to be. And I think Camilla has bore the brunt of a lot of that when, in effect, her and Charles had loved each other since they were teenagers. And it was only circumstance that kept them apart. If it hadn't been the fact he was heir to the throne, they would have married anyway. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
She did learn fast from the best, Tara. And I like Princess Diana, but she was not the little angel everybody thought she was. But I think William has took on the best of both sides. I think he's got the duty from his grandmother, but he's got that softer side from Diana, and I think that is what'll set it. I think that is why people like him so much.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have a great respect for them when Diana died. I have a great respect that they withheld the titles Princess of Wales
Yeah,
and they've passed that on to
yeah.
William and Kate. I think that they are very deserving, and I
Oh
was
yeah,
very happy to hear that they got those titles.
yeah.
Yeah.
But there was no way Prince Harry was going to get him. There was absolutely no way Prince
No.
Harry was going to, because Prince Charles could have actually declared anybody Prince of Wales. He doesn't have to go to the eldest son. He could have declared anybody to become Prince of Wales.
Yeah.
It was interesting. He hasn't bestowed any more titles on um, the other two, shall we
Yeah.
say?
They're not members of
Yeah,
the working royal family.
yeah. But William and Kate are also now the Duke and Duchess of Cornwall as well.
Yeah, Cornwall and Cambridge. They have
Yeah,
both titles. Yeah.
yeah. Because he is now responsible for maintaining the Duchy of Cornwall now that Charles has ascended to king.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm aware, the king cannot be, well, he obviously can't be the Duke as well. So the king is the only title he's got now. But William he's been groomed all the way up, all the way through. But I do actually quite like Prince Charles. I know he's a bit of an old stick over some things, but as a person, his heart is generally in the right place. And Queen Camilla, which is really weird calling her that now, she does a lot in the background very quietly. She's like Diana, but doesn't seek the publicity like Diana did, and
I,
that's why I like Camilla.
I think as soon as they let Charles and Camilla marry, I think that it has been very good for both of them. I think now
Yeah,
that Charles is older and he's got that kind of playboy way out of him,
yeah.
I think that they are a very good couple. I
They
really
always
do.
were. They
Yeah,
always were.
yeah.
I seen a documentary actually, and do you know they say that the palace, the palace in London, is the big palace and all the rest of it. Apparently, it's not as grandeur as you might think.
Sam, have you never
The
seen it? It's like a bunker.
it's apparently there was problems with roofs, there was problems with basements, there was problems with rats, there
Yeah,
was maintenance problems, and probably still is. I don't know.
yeah.
They had
It's
a
not.
serious rat problem.
Yeah, and it's
Wow.
not the most attractive looking building either. If you go and look at it, go to London and look at it, it basically looks like a nuclear bunker with a lot of windows.
Yeah, I mean, like the way it's done in a kind of a square, the building behind the main front part of it is
Yeah,
actually better looking than the actual new
yeah,
front that was put on it,
yeah,
which was done by is it King Edward or somebody?
probably.
There was a number of different monarchs that attached more extensions on,
Hmm.
and it's way different than it was
Yeah,
way
and
back in
it's
original.
it's it's not got as much ground as people think it has because they think it's set in the middle of this huge, massive park. It's got a bit of woodland behind it and a stretch. I think it's got access to a stretch of the Thames. But if you look at an aerial view of Buckingham Palace, it's not got huge. Well, obviously, it's central London, but it hasn't got huge, expansive gardens or anything as such.
No, I mean like the properties in Scotland and the other properties are more homely sort of thing, and that's why the Queen liked the Scottish property.
Yeah,
Where
the Queen was always happier at Balmoral and Windsor compared to
yeah,
Buckingham Palace.
there is a castle actually in Mullaghmore, which is in County Sligo, and that actually is still belong to the crown, and it was actually Henry Mountbatten's
Yeah, I
residence.
wondered if it was the Mountbattens.
And I actually was a kid when the IRA planted a bomb on his boat. We were down there sort of the next day,
Yeah,
and there was a lot of commotion going on there. But Dad sometimes does silly things, and he drove into the grounds and that, and then we see all these soldiers and stuff, and
hmm,
my mother was panicking, and we were panicking, and Dad says, "Oh, it's all right," and I'm going, "No, no," and next thing, Mum says, "Dad, turn back, turn the car around," you know. But when I was growing up, there was a lot of tension. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
You seen this Southern Irish car going into the grounds of we were in Ireland and that, but inside that ground is actually British. It's British property. It's royal property. I don't know how it wasn't that secure actually. The gate was open and he drove in.
yeah.
Oh, we were crapping ourselves. But Dad was thinking, "Oh, it's okay. We just want to see the castle," kind of thing. And Mum was saying, "No, don't do that." Do you know?
Yeah. Right, I'm just answering Sky on chat.
And Mullaghmore is actually quite nice. You can actually there's a beach there, and there's loads of sand dunes, and there's loads of rabbits.
Hmm.
And as a kid, the first thing we thought about when we went to Mullaghmore is to see the rabbits.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the reason when he signed the proclamation, Skies, at the moment there's a lot of tension in Scotland, surrounding independence. They voted. We gave them a vote a few years ago, and they said they wanted to stay in the UK. And now they've got little Jimmy Cranky as, is it First Minister as called, not Prime Minister, it's called First Minister. He's kicking up a lot of dust about what's still wanting to come out. So, there is a bit of tension there. But Prince Charles is actually, the royals do actually have quite a strong connection to Scotland through the Queen Mother and through the Queen herself. The Queen was always happiest in Scotland. Scotland and Windsor were her two favourite places. So, that's there. But she'll also be visiting Northern Ireland, so you'll be getting to see him, Sam. And he's also got to
Okay.
visit. He's also got to visit Wales in the next few days as well. He's literally got to visit all the separate countries of the United Kingdom during all what's going on in the next 10 days.
Yeah, I think if he does come, he won't come to this city. He will go to Belfast because
Belfast is where he'll go. Yeah,
there is a royal property in Belfast
yeah,
as well. Yeah, you know. Um, but there's this. We're we're still a kind of a divided part of the country where you have the the the, the people that consider themselves part of the UK, and you got the Irish people, and when it comes to things like the bonfire night and the 4th of July and stuff like that, one side has a pop at the others, kind of still. Do you know?
Yeah.
It's not as bad as it was, but it's still kind of there.
It's now. I don't think it's ever going to go away fully, Sam. To be honest with you.
And if you're a tourist, it's kind of strange going into these loyalist areas that are considered, they consider themselves British.
Mm-hmm.
The curbstones of the footpaths are painted in red, white, and blue,
Yeah.
and murals on the walls and stuff like that. And some of the Catholic side or some of the Irish side have a little bit of that, but not as much as the British side,
Mm-hmm.
where they go all out with painting footpaths and painting roads and painting walls and the buntings of flags.
Yeah.
Do you know? And as a tourist, they're fascinated by all that kind of stuff.
I thought you said terrorists then.
I was trying to figure out what she said.
It sounded like
No.
you said as a terrorist.
No, tourist.
I know. I realised after.
You're going to get me swatted.
That's not very good. Tomorrow's 9/11. Just saying.
oh God, yeah, it is. I forgot about
It
that.
is.
I'll do my yearly thing of watching the Budweiser advert.
Budweiser advert.
Oh, haven't you seen it?
No.
On 9/11, Budweiser released an advert, and it was only ever played once after the Super Bowl, I think it was. And it's the big dray horses, and they come into New York, and as they arrive on this grassy patch overlooking New York, and all the horses get on one knee and bow to New York. It's on YouTube. It's absolutely brilliant advert, and I watch it every year on the anniversary.
I'll have to go and watch it.
Hang on, I'll see if I can find it, and I'll send you the link.
Yeah, don't share it on here in case it's copyrighted.
Now I'll put it on the private chat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tara knows the one.
It's an absolutely stunning advert. There you go. It's in private chat. So honestly, it's quite a tender advert, to be honest with you. And I always watch it every year on 9/11. I can't believe neither of you have ever seen it.
Where did you send it?
It's on private chat and the.
Oh, I'm looking at Messenger.
The only thing is, we have this private chat after this is over, like.
Yeah.
You know. Because I was thinking, I can't send a link anywhere. I can't send a link to my Messenger or anything like that.
21 years this year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where's the time gone?
That's phenomenal. I still remember the night it happened. I sat up and I was watching it on the news as it happened.
When I've actually met the Budweiser Clydesdales, because if you go over to America and go to Busch Gardens, which is owned by Budweiser, that's where they keep the Clydesdales. And I've actually been and seen them. They are absolutely huge.
They're beautiful, though. Oh, my God, they're beautiful.
I remember I was out fixing my car when it happened, and a neighbour
Have a
told
good
me.
night, Scott. I can still remember the day I was actually at work in the office, and somebody came in and said, "Oh, there's been an accident in America. A plane has flew into um, the trade." And to be honest with you, I don't actually know what the World Trade Center was at the time. And then somebody said, "Oh, it's sounding like it might be." And so we all went into the TV room in the office, and nobody did any work that day. We just sat there watching it as it unfolded, and it's something I'll never forget, ever.
Yeah.
No, well, at first they thought it was an accident, didn't they? But
Yeah,
then all the
yeah,
other planes happened as well, and
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
sad.
I remember when Diana had the crash as well. I was actually woken up out of my sleep,
Yeah,
and I done something that I normally didn't do, get up in the middle of the night and put on the television.
yeah, I did.
Next, you know,
Jay's mother rang me in the early hours and said Princess Diana's dead, and I started laughing because Julie's got a really warped sense of humour and does wacky things like that occasionally. And I'm like, yeah, right, okay. See you in the morning. And she's like, no, she's actually died. So I got up and started watching it, and that was another one I'll never forget.
When was that Princess Diana died?
1997, I think it was.
I think
Oh
so. Yeah,
God, I was 17.
and do you know? I mean,
Same
like
year I got married.
I've worked on cars over the years and stuff like that, and an S-Class Mercedes is a pretty hefty
Oh yeah,
car, and to see it just rip like a tin opener, they
yeah.
must have been going at some flipping speed,
Oh
like,
yeah, they were. They
Yeah.
were.
you know.
You know, and to ram into a concrete pillar, you've got no chance.
Yeah, those things were like a tank. You know, the 1990s
Have a good
cars.
night, M&A.
You know, they're not plasticky like they are nowadays, dude. These things
Oh yeah,
were
they're solid metal, weren't they, Sam?
yeah, they were pretty heavy actually. Yeah, you know.
But it's surprising if you look back on the last 20, 30 years, the moments in history we have actually witnessed. You've got the Berlin Wall coming down. You've got obviously the death of Princess Diana. You've got 9/11. We've now got the death of Elizabeth II. We've witnessed some right stuff in our time. We really have.
Yeah,
And some people are still alive who can remember the war, the last war.
yeah,
Luckily, I weren't around then. My parents, I think my dad was born the year before war was officially declared. He was born in 1938. And my mother was born in 1944, just before it finished.
yeah. And you know, I look back on things. I never thought growing up that I was going to ever be living in Derry. I never even thought I would ever step foot in Derry. There was something happening in Derry every day. And actually, Rachel is in an area that was there was a lot of the violence happened around
Mm-hmm.
where Rachel lives, and now we're living in it. Do you know?
Yeah,
Where way back it was a war zone.
yeah,
And now you have the tourists, you have all the flowers, and everything is normal. There's remnants of the past on murals on walls. I mean, like there's gables of houses. You might have seen them sometimes in my driving videos.
yeah. I saw them in your driving videos.
Yeah, tourists flock to that area all the time, but that was a hotbed of serious violence. Just
Is that where bloody Sunday occurred?
yes, yeah, yeah,
It's terrible if you think about it.
yeah. There's memorials there, and there's always when you pass it, there's always a group of tourists. Getting a guided tour and stuff like
Yeah,
that. It's completely turned around where you have these cosmopolitan restaurants and cafes and all that kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Brett,
Hmm.
you should be starting to plan your trip next year
Hmm.
to what's it called?
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge.
Yeah, I
Yes,
know. I should do. Yeah,
you should do it.
'cause I really want to go.
Yeah, and you've got time to plan it now too.
Yeah, should do actually.
You should.
I suppose
And
I
if I
could
win
always.
the lottery, I'll fly over and go
Yeah,
with
you
you.
come with us. There's nothing stopping Sam coming over and coming down to Stonehenge with me.
Yeah.
I I can try. You know, I can't do it on my own though
Yeah,
because I have anxiety of
yeah.
places I haven't been before. Unless I'm driving, I've got that control, but I've got an anxiety. I can't even use a bus. You
Hmm.
know.
Hmm. It makes it hard.
Yeah. It's a pity because I do miss out. You know.
Yeah. We'll have to see
Yeah,
that. We'll have to see if we can get it sorted. We can. We
that'd
can
be
always.
really cool.
We can always dope you up all the way down to Stonehenge. By the time you come around, you'll be there.
Give you a couple of whiskeys and a what's that relaxant tablet you can take?
We'll get ketamine, Sam. You won't know anything until you get to
Yeah,
Stone.
you'll be right.
I'd be like B. I like B. I'd be like BA in the I'd be like BA in the A team. But they had to knock BA out when they put him on a plane or a helicopter.
You'll be laying in the back seat like all the way there. You'll be fine.
Bit of
I
horse tranquilizer ketamine will get you down to Stonehenge in no time.
Yes.
you know I did have opportunities to film in America and stuff like that, and I had to turn it down because I says I've been on a plane on 2 trips and I didn't like it.
Hmm.
I can handle a boat and
See,
that.
everybody always says about going to America. Oh, I'd love to go. I want to go to Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
Waverly Hills,
I've never
yes.
wanted to go there. If I go, I'd want to go to Gettysburg. It's
I have a list this long, seriously.
Gettysburg has got so much more to offer in terms of the paranormal than Waverly Hills Sanctuary by miles.
Mm.
You
I
know,
do
and
have a
so
list.
some people are all fascinated about going to the Cecil Hotel. They don't realise that the Cecil Hotel is in the middle of Skid Row, like.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's not on my
You
list.
you park your car outside Skid Row, you will have no wheels when you go back out.
Lovely.
You won't have a car.
No.
Oh god.
Oh, I've just had a couple more subscription notices.
Oh really?
I'm up to 62 now.
63?
Or is it 63 now?
It's 63. Oh Brett, that is wonderful.
I haven't advertised your channel yet. I'll do it today though.
You need to start sticking a camera on your balcony, Sam, and encouraging the birds in.
People will be more interested in what happens out on the road from the balcony.
Well, exactly. They can watch the world go by as the birds are there.
No, there's a I would be actually breaking the law by actually filming the public, but a lot of people don't seem to get into their heads that a roundabout you're supposed to go around the roundabout.
Oh,
You're not
God,
supposed
yeah.
to go. You're not supposed to crash into it.
And they've just introduced all those new bloody highway code things in as well, ain't there? About now, before you turn left into a road, if somebody's crossing, you've got to stop and wait for them to cross before you turn into the road. That's going to have people ploughing into the back of you and all sorts.
I just
Yeah.
had a vision. Had a vision of Sam filming her drives. You know how you did your talks, your rambles while you were driving? Except you were doing it at full speed with a helmet on. That'd be cool. I know it's totally illegal, but it'd be cool.
I do have a kind of a high speed ramble, but I actually did. There was problems with the footage, and I couldn't do it. It was along country roads, and I was braking hard going into the turns and stuff like that. But I got a warning on my dashboard, and I thought, the door is kind of open or something, because when there's a warning, there's the same beep for everything that goes wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I realised that when I got home, actually, that the brake fluid was actually leaking out. My brakes were actually going, and I was booting it along these country roads. But it's a pity, because it was beautiful countryside, lakes and mountains and stuff like that.
And you're just flying past it.
I did cheat a little bit. I did turn up the footage a little bit to make it look like I was going even faster and that, but I had to cut the audio because of all this beeping and stuff. But it was all done with a body camera, and actually it does a really good job. I have a little system where I have a suction cup on the windscreen, and I can turn it around and face the road, and then if I want to talk, I can turn it around and face it towards myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the thing about the in-car rants is you're concentrating on the road. You don't give a shit what the camera is doing, and then you're rambling. You're offloading what's in your head.
Are you allowed to still do it now?
Yes.
Because they've just brought in laws about not using hands-free and everything, haven't they?
But it's a camera. It's just a camera.
Right.
I can, you can talk. You can talk and that. I mean, like there's dash cameras that record the road. There's dash cameras that have two cameras where it shows it monitors the inside in case you have a taxi and all the rest of it. It's just the same thing,
The thing is, nowadays, with the way culture is, you need something like that anyway on a car. Because the way they claim, people claim after accidents and stuff, and the lies they're prepared to tell is unbelievable.
I've seen people on dash cams, and this is in the UK, and they'll be like they're walking across a crossing, and they'll run up and throw themselves on a bonnet of a car and be on the road, like, hit me.
Yeah, it's been done numerous times. That
shocking.
Yeah, there's an investigation that I done about a year ago, and I'm still trying to finish the video. But actually, my dash.
How long is it?
It's a couple hours. It's a haunted theatre in town. It's just that it didn't end very well, and I am trying to finish an ending to it. But I was actually able to take the dash cam footage and put it into the video as an introduction of us driving to the place. Yeah. But I kind of put a little bit of artistic license as if it was an emergency. We're calling to this place to investigate, so I had the sirens going, and I speeded up the footage, and I'm going in and out through traffic like the cops, as if I was an emergency service and that. And actually, it's a brilliant intro, and that I just had to finish it and that, and I kind of lost heart because I didn't know how to end it because both our cameras malfunctioned at the same time, and it was gone. It was done.
Oh, that was weird.
And we didn't know.
Well, what you should do with that intro, if you got it inside the car, you should do that. When you come to shout outside the car, you should put a bit of footage from the Ghostbusters car turning up somewhere.
What I got was a bit of rock music. I was, driving to the place, and then we had this. I overlaid it with sirens, and then I overlaid that with, police chatter on a radio.
Yeah.
So it actually turned out pretty cool, But
look forward to seeing that one.
Yeah, I have to try and finish it up, Mm-hmm. We shot it with NK Hauntings.
Oh yeah, I've
which
heard of
is
NK.
yeah. And they done most of the camera work for the night. So we were.
It's always nice when you can sucker somebody else into doing it.
Mm, and one of the people out of NK Hauntings actually worked in the location, and I was disheartened, and I shared, my my displeasure on Facebook, and they actually reached out and messaged me and says, "Listen, we got a place for you, you know."
Mm-hmm.
So I do have to release it at some place. Otherwise, it just kind of looks like I didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Do you know? And it was thanks to them we got to the place,
Actually, looking forward to that one.
Do you know? It's not. There was a lot of mistakes made. There was cameras. When there was actually activity. There was cameras facing each other with lights on, and it actually distorted the focus on the camera.
Yeah.
When you have a bright light and stuff.
That is the only problem of going investigating with a large amount of people. Is you've got to have some kind of rules in place on who does what, where, and when, because things like that will happen all the while otherwise.
Yeah, there was only 4 of us, but I made that rookie mistake. We had 2 cameras running. Rachel's camera was facing the hallway, but my camera was facing us. But Rachel's light on her camera messed up the focus on
Yeah.
my camera. And it was the best footage, it was the best shot, because we were sitting in the kitchen around a table where we wanted to sit down and relax and talk about the paranormal. And we didn't get into the conversation very much until, we were talking about the paranormal for a couple of minutes, and then next thing, there was footsteps being heard, there was voices being heard, there was doors moving and creaking and stuff like that. And I could pick up the audio, but the camera focus just was completely off, and I'm disappointed about that. And then the 2 cameras broke down. And I was rigged with that much of equipment that my brain was not working, because I had a backup camera. All I had to do was go down and get the backup camera, and I didn't. I just says, let's finish it at that.
Mm-hmm.
But when I put it together, I says, how do I end this now? And I'm still stuck on that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I
think we've all got things we've missed on camera that we wish we'd have caught. My biggest one was at Roach Abbey, and we were actually. So I was setting up the laser pen. There's like a gate area where you're going, but it's like big archway with buildings on either side. And I'd set up the laser pen, and I was lit, and it was projected onto full size onto the wall. And I was literally just putting the camera on the tripod next to the laser pen. And as I was doing it, now how this happened, I do not know, because laser pens, the filter inside is fixed. It's just like a sheet with tiny little holes.
Yeah.
And one of the lights, the green lights, actually went in an arc from one side of the wall to the other, like a comet. And both me and Jay saw it, and I've always regretted the fact that I hadn't pressed play on the camera. I was literally just setting the camera up to start the shot when it happened, and that is it's physically impossible. But we watched it, and the green light actually zoomed in an arc straight from one side straight the way to the other. One of the green lights, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, some of the lasers can be distorted if there's moisture in the air. It hits it and it reflects, and it divides up into 2.
Yeah, but this was the actual dot, Sam, and it actually flew in an arc from one side to the other. And and I looked at Jason. I said, "Did you see that?" And he said, "Yeah, what is it?" Because Jason thought there was something wrong with the laser pen. I said, "That is physically impossible." And that's the one thing I have always regretted not capturing on camera. It was absolutely stunning.
There was one laser experiment that we had done too, and it was we were in a cemetery, and we had this doll, It's not a haunted doll, it's just a doll. And we just thought we'd use it as a trigger object. So we placed it in a certain place. And then I put, you know, do you know one of them laser measuring things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it comes up with the measurement of where it actually hits. So I put the measuring thing on a bench and we pointed the laser at the head of the doll. Or on the chest.
Not like you were going to shoot her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were able to measure the distance from the machine to the doll. So if anything came in between that,
Yeah, it's to shorten the length.
we can pinpoint where actually the breach happened because
Yeah.
it measures it. You know, a lot of people don't use them, but those laser measuring things, you could use them in the paranormal. But if an insect flies in its path, it will breach it there too.
Yeah.
You know, there is a lot of false positives with a lot of stuff, but it's something that you could try. You know.
Mhm.
I got this new doll here for Brett.
Oh God. Ugh. That's another one for the incinerator. That's creepy.
She's not
I have-
haunted. It's just a doll, but yeah.
Creepy.
Yeah, I have something similar to that size. It was a family heirloom and the people actually didn't want it to go to just anybody.
Yeah.
Wow, a boy doll, weird eyes.
Mark and Annette has this exact same doll, same clothes, hair, everything.
It's Princess Diana.
Yeah, the hair.
Yeah. It's weird.
Oh, I've never understood the fascination with dolls ever. Yeah.
These ones I had given to me.
Right, I'm gonna have to love you and leave you soon because Jace will be
Yeah.
here.
I think we'll end. We've only got one person. I think Tara's the only one left, so we'll just end the stream. Thank you, Tara, for staying with us.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Tara.
And we'll say goodbye to you guys until next time.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.